Who are the greatest attacking trio in the entire history of football? You don't even need to say anything, because the only right answer is MSN. Honestly, watching Lionel Messi, Luis Suarez and Neymar Jr. play on the same side week in, week out all those years back was peak football. It was a real privilege, and we'll never see anything like it again. Those three were very good friends off the pitch, and that synergy translated into the greatest connection we've ever seen on the pitch. But how did they get like that? These guys had never actually played together before they joined Barcelona. They're from rival countries in South America, which meant that they should have hated one another. You guys know the Brazilians and Argentinians don't see eye to eye, and Uruguayans too are not exactly the best of friends with each other. On top of that, these were three of the biggest footballing brands on the planet. And what usually happens when you have such big players on the same team is that their egos usually get in the way and hamper their performances. But that wasn't the case with MSN. So, the question now is, how on earth did these three guys overcome all of that to become best of friends? How did they kick things off so quickly and make such a good team? How did MSN become the greatest trio ever? We'll be telling you how exactly that happened in this video. But first, let us just remind you how good these guys were. Officially, MSN existed for just a little under 3 seasons, but those 3 seasons were magic. Of course, Messi had always been at Barcelona. It was his club, his city. But following the years of utter dominance under Pep Guardiola and the short-lived ascendancy under Tito Villanova, Barcelona needed a rebuild. So they brought in Neymar from Brazil in 2013. The following summer, Suarez was signed, but he didn't make his debut until October because of the ban he was serving after having bitten Chiellini at the World Cup. From the very first day those three lined up in a match together, we all just knew we were watching something special. It was the Clásico against Real Madrid back in October 2014, and just 4 minutes into the game, Suarez and Neymar had already combined for a goal. That was the day MSN was born. Over the next few weeks, fans began to see some beautiful football and an unreal connection between those three. And they were perfect because they all complemented each other and provided a perfect balance. Neymar, a right-footed winger on the left, Messi, a left-footed winger on the right, and Suarez, an out-and-out striker playing down the middle. In that front three, you had everything you could ask for from an attacking perspective. You had the best goal scorers in the world, the best dribblers in the world, the best ball carriers in the world, the best finishers in the world, the best creators in the world, and on top of that, they were the most selfless teammates in the world. They were just perfect. You see, every single reason why the trio of Messi, Neymar and Mbappe didn't work at PSG was the reason MSN worked at Barcelona. The PSG trio didn't provide a perfect balance. Neymar and Mbappe are both left wingers, which left them still needing an out-and-out striker to achieve balance. Also, those three did not exactly like each other, so it was always destined to fail from the very beginning. But MSN, they loved each other, and that love translated into a telepathic connection on the pitch. In their first season together, they conquered the world, completing the European treble of the Champions League, La Liga and Copa del Rey. That season, MSN scored 122 goals, the most by an attacking trio in the entire history of Spanish football. But that record was very short-lived, because they went ahead to break their record not long after. We'll get to that later, but first, how was this trio built? After a lengthy chase and flirting period, Barcelona signed Neymar in the summer of 2013. 56,500 fans came out to watch his unveiling at the Camp Nou. No Brazilian player has ever had a higher turnout. Rivals Real Madrid wanted Neymar so badly and even had him come for tryouts when he was just 14 years old. So Barcelona being able to beat them to a signature made it that bit sweeter. At the time, Neymar was already the highest rated youngster in the world, so there was close to zero risk in signing the 21-year-old Brazilian. He was certainly gonna come good, no doubts about it. And he did. In his first season in Europe, he had 30 goal contributions in 41 appearances. Messi, of course, was firing as always. He finished that season with 55 goal contributions in 46 appearances in all competitions. But despite all this individual brilliance, Barcelona failed to win a major trophy that season. The club could see that they were on the right path, there were just a few things missing, and in the summer of 2014 they made sure to plug those holes. First, they signed a new coach, Luis Enrique, and then they took a gamble by signing Luis Suarez from Liverpool. Yes, it was a gamble. Suarez was arguably the best striker in the world at the time, having just won the Premier League Golden Boot and the European Golden Shoe playing for a dysfunctional Liverpool. But he had so many eccentricities, the major one being biting. And that was what made him a risk. He just could not stay out of trouble, nor could he keep his teeth in his mouth. At the time, he'd already bitten 3 different players, and was even serving a 4-month ban that summer after he bit Chiellini at the 2014 World Cup. So yes, it was certainly a risk, but it was a risk Barcelona thought was worth taking. They had a vision into which Suarez fit perfectly, so they paid 82.3 million euros for him. And it didn't take long for him to show that he was worth every single penny of that money. He missed the first couple of months because of his ban, but once he started to play, he hit the ground running. Suarez fit right in like he'd been playing at Barcelona all his life, and once he started to play, it became clear that he was the missing piece of the puzzle all along. The trio were dominant, and they ran riot on everybody they met. They were scoring, creating, dribbling, dazzling, and entertaining like we'd never seen before. On top of all that, they acted like brothers. The way they celebrated each time one of them scored, the way they were always together in training, and the way they always pranked one another and made jokes amongst themselves made them look like inseparable triplets. They were brothers. Brothers whose common hobby was destroying teams. In their first season together, Messi and Neymar finished as joint top scorers in the Champions League, and all 3 of them finished in the top 5 of the Ballon d'Or that year. Suarez finished 5th, Neymar was 3rd, and Messi won the Ballon d'Or. So saying they were 3 of the best players in the world was not crazy, it was just plain facts. And it wasn't a one-off thing. It continued into the next season. At the 2016 Ballon d'Or, all 3 of them finished in the top 5 again, and it was certainly deserved. They had successfully defended their league title as well as the Copa del Rey, and then they won the Supercopa. This season was different because it showed that the trio wasn't all about Messi. This time around, it was Luis Suarez who was the player of the season. He won the Pichichi after he finished with 40 goals in 35 La Liga appearances and finished with 18 assists in the league, becoming the first player to finish as top scorer and top assist provider in the same season in the history of La Liga. The 2015-16 campaign was another incredible season for MSN, but for Suarez in particular. The Uruguayan also won the European Golden Shoe, becoming the first player not named Messi or Ronaldo to win both the Pichichi and the European Golden Shoe in the same season since 2009. It was also the season that Messi and Suarez produced that iconic penalty against Celta Vigo, going further to show the synergy and audacity that existed between that front 3. In total, Suarez had 83 goal contributions in 53 appearances in all competitions in the 2015-16 season. It was an insane individual season, one of the best we've seen in the 21st century. He was so good that year that many fans said he deserved to have finished higher than 4th at the Ballon d'Or. But here's the thing, Suarez being that good didn't mean that the other 2 suffered. Everybody kept lifting each other. Messi finished with 65 goal contributions in 49 appearances that season, while Neymar finished with 56 in 49. Together, MSN scored 131 goals in the 2015-16 season, breaking their record for most goals by an attacking trio in a single season. These guys were just unstoppable. They were every defender's nightmare. If you tried to stop Messi, Neymar would hit you, and if you managed to stop him, Suarez was there to finish you off. They were unplayable. But as the saying goes, every good thing comes to an end. So, in 2017, we had to watch the greatest attacking trio of all time prematurely disintegrate. We hoped we'd see them play together for maybe a decade, but we only got 3 seasons. And here's the thing. While we were watching them do their thing in the 2016-17 season, we didn't know it was going to be their last campaign together. The thought didn't even cross our minds. They were doing their thing as usual, taking the entire world by storm. But it must be said that there was a dip, and that was expected because they'd had no rest. They hardly sat on the bench for Barcelona in the 2015-16 season, and then they all went on international duties that summer. Suarez and Messi were at the Copa America, while Neymar captained Brazil to the Olympics. After such a hectic summer, they got back to Barcelona and went straight back to it, so fatigue set in and there was a drop in performances. But this is the best ever attacking trio we're talking about here. A dip for them looks like the best season ever for others. Neymar had 46 goal contributions in 45 appearances that season. Suarez had 56 in 51, and Messi, of course, had 74 goal contributions in 52 appearances, winning the Pichichi and the European Golden Shoe. That was the second successive season a member of the MSN had finished with those two awards, further proving that they were the best goal scorers on the planet. But with these guys, it wasn't just about numbers. They also provided indelible moments and unforgettable memories. In the 2016-17 season, all three of these guys were on the scoresheet as they helped Barcelona pull off the greatest comeback in the history of the Champions League. That's a game no Barcelona fan will ever forget, and once again, it was courtesy of MSN. But like we said, that trio experienced a dip in the 2016-17 season, so they were only able to win the Supercopa and Copa del Rey. And on the goals front, they only managed a combined 110. Yes, that's what a bad season looked like for them. 2 trophies won and 110 goals scored. Insane. The plan was for that front three to rest and return for the new season even better and stronger, but the boat was rocked when Neymar decided he wanted to leave. The report was that Neymar was tired of being in Messi's shadow, so he opted to step out and be a man on his own. PSG broke the world transfer record fee to bring him over to France in 2017, and that effectively marked the end of MSN after 3 glorious years. In those 3 years, MSN won 7 trophies including a European treble, a Ballon d'Or, 2 Pichichi trophies, 2 European Golden Shoes, 2 Champions League top scorer awards, and together they scored a total of 363 goals in those 3 years. For context, during that same period, BBC, Real Madrid's front three of Ronaldo, Bale and Benzema scored a total of 268 goals. That's a whole 95 goals fewer than what MSN managed. And if your preference is the Liverpool trio of Salah, Mane and Firmino, those 3 scored a total of 338 goals in 5 years. That's fewer goals than MSN in 2 more seasons. The point we're making here is simple. Messi, Neymar and Suarez were insane. We're never going to see an attacking trio like that ever again. And we should all count ourselves lucky to have watched all 3 of them on the same team. Could they maybe give us one last dance before they retire? We're sure fans would be hoping so. Right now, Messi and Suarez are together at Inter Miami, while Neymar's currently in Saudi Arabia with Al Hilal. There's a small chance that Neymar could make the move to reunite with his old friends in the US shortly. Of course, they're all in their 30s and the twilight of their careers. And if they do come together, we can't be expecting the level of performances and the number of goals we saw from them at Barcelona between 2014 and 2017. But it would still be so nice to see the greatest attacking trio of all time just enjoy themselves on the pitch once again. We would personally love to see MSN put up 10 out of 10 performances together again, even if it's in Sunday League. But speaking of 10 out of 10 performances, these guys have gotten perfect ratings several times in their careers. But did they deserve it? Click on this video to find out. Thanks for watching. Give the video a like if you enjoyed it and hit the subscribe button.